Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. We're sponsored by DM Dice. Use the code ModifedRoll or follow the link in the description to get 10% off all your adventuring needs. We're also sponsored by Arcanist Rum. Check them out and use code ModifedRoll to get 15% off all purchases and free shipping. In the last episode, Giuliana, having run into her old friend Saru and his new travelling companions, had found a secret entrance to an underground hideout underneath a warehouse within the dock districts of Belgravia. Having overcome a handful of traps and solved a puzzle to make their way inside, they found themselves confronted at the door by some sort of fiendish-looking creature. How do they plan on making it inside? Find out now in episode 45 of season 2 of ModifedRoll, The Rattling of Chains. As the door swings open in front of you, the stone grinding across the floor, you're met with the sound of heavy armoured feet hammering into the floor in a slow rhythm as ahead of you, a hunched, muscular figure carrying a almost comically large halberd marches the length of the hall, turns and faces you, and you see this cherubic, almost angel-like childish face sort of hanging between the shoulders as this creature hunches so far forward that it seems to be bent. As it turns to face you, it begins marching back down the hall towards you. What do you guys do?
Can I do some kind of check to see if I know what kind of creature it is or if it's similar to the ones we've already seen?
Absolutely. Give me some sort of nature, arcana check, whatever you think would make most sense.
I would like to do Arcana or Religion if that's important, useful.
Could be. Depends how well you roll.
Oh, well, they're both +6, so it would be a 21.
21, goddamn. Okay, once again, this is a creature you have never seen before, never heard of, but there is definitely something sort of fiendish in its nature, very obviously, almost sort of as the door opens, you're almost hit with this wind of brimstone and fire, and yeah, it looks horrific. Whatever this is, it's it almost looks like the armor it's wearing has been clamping around it for so long that as it's grown and its muscles almost protrude and bulge around it. This is not a good aligned creature. This is very obviously something fiendish, although you have never heard of its like before.
Okay, I'll relay it to the others and just be like, that thing over there, very bad. Perhaps we could entreat with it, but I think we will probably end up fighting it. Okay, I'm bracing then. And Cyril, I guess, hold an action to, let's say he's going to hold a dodge action.
Yeah, the creature keeps walking. It gets to by the time it gets to within 10, 15 feet of you guys, is anyone going to take an immediate action, or is everyone just going to watch and see what it does?
I've got friends on the backup, but I'm waiting a little longer to see if it's hostile, it will take that very badly.
Cool. Just quickly before we progress to that point, can you just double check for me what is the target of friends specified as?
One creature of your choice.
Okay, doesn't have to be a humanoid?
Don't believe so.
Cool, that's good to know. In which case, if you guys are all just sort of stood waiting to see what it does, it gets to the end of the hall, and even as it gets closer, those heavy armoured footfalls, it stops at the now open door, and with it this close, you could hear from behind that mask a heavy, laboured breathing. And it seems to stop for a second and regard all of you outside the door, and then it turns and begins to make its way back up the hall again.
I have a sneaky feeling that if we were to cross the threshold of this door, that will probably attack us. But I could be wrong.
That's an excellent point. I do have some magical charisma at my fingertips, which I could utilize. to give us a 1 minute head start.
What is everyone's passive perception?
14.
11. I'm not wise.
13.
14.
So the two of you, which I believe, Mercy, you said you also had 14 passive?
No, I've got 11.
Oh, 11, sorry. Did someone else have 14? Or was it
I had 14.
14, sorry, Joachim. As you guys are begin discussing this and talk about how this thing might attack you, Joachim and Giliana, you guys notice that the two creatures that were standing guard outside are now both giving you very direct side eye.
And well, we passed the first test, right? I guess we're able to enter.
Yeah, maybe they told him that we're cool. I don't know.
It feels like there's a lot of automated security of types here. Let's just be on our guard and head in, I suppose.
Well, no time like the present. I'm gonna push Joachim through the door.
Yeah, Joachim will cross the threshold.
I'm going to hang
Gingerly
back and
cross
see what
in.
happens.
Does anything change once he crosses into the...
You step inside, you watch as the creature continues its march to the end of the hall. It turns about, faces you, and begins walking back towards you at the same pace.
Okay, quickly, everyone come through and let's get out of its way before we get in its way.
As Joachim, you would notice, and actually all of you who were stood at the door would have noticed that just in the hall, you're in a narrow hallway that goes for about 15 feet. Halfway down on the right is a door, and at the end it opens up into a larger square intersection where there are 3 more doors in the front, to your right and to your left.
Well, which door?
Okay. When Joachim gets to that door, he'll just juggle it and see if he can open it easily.
There doesn't appear to be a lock on this door, so it doesn't appear to have a key lock or a latch or anything, at least from this side.
Okay.
Once you get to that point, give me a perception check.
Oh, okay. That is a 16.
You can hear numerous voices inside chanting in unison.
Okay, not this one. Not this one. Joachim will jog forwards and try and get round the first corner to get out of the way of the whatever this thing is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'll try and follow
same.
him as much as I can do. I'll be getting right up in its face.
No, you actually notice as you guys start coming in the hallway, as the creature's looking at you and seeing you come down the hallway, you're all rushing, but it still slows down, knowing that it would collide with you otherwise. It seems to be slowing down to let you come in.
All right.
Okay. Ah, friendly.
There's some sort of understanding in this place.
For now.
The only question left to answer is which door now? Is any of these unlocked? And I'll sort of have a cursory kind of little cautious walk around the room and see if any of the doors are are unlocked and everything like the other one was.
All 3 doors in here don't have any form of lock that you can see on them. Just handles.
Is there chanting behind any of them? Or any noise?
Carrying your 16 forward, none of these doors you can hear anything behind.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just crack this one on the left here and see if there's anything in there. Not fully open it, just get a peek in.
Yeah, give me a stealth check if you want to try and be quiet about it.
All right. Not great at stealth. Let's see. That's a 14.
14. You open the door in front, you just crack it to begin with, and you can see another long hallway. At the far end, you can see stairs that lead down a few steps to another door. And as you push the door a little bit further, saying that the hallway is empty, you can see that there is a door on the left halfway down.
Oh, it's labyrinthine here. Wasn't expecting a maze.
Literally 2 doors so far.
Mazes.
This is a maze! I am lost!
There's so many doors.
Nothing better to try out your quick thinking.
Yes.
So you've gone in,
Let's
you've
go.
opened it. Yeah, you've got the door to the left, and there's another hallway.
Shall we open all of these doors and see if there's anything of interest behind any of them before we head down?
Oh, well, it's worth a look.
Yeah, I'll try this one on the right. I'll try it stealthily.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
24.
God damn. Yeah, you open that door and there's nothing inside, or no body inside at least, but you do see it as like a storage room. There are several crates and sacks, some of which have just been sort of thrown haphazardly into here. Some of the sacks seem to be like spilling out onto the ground.
Anything interesting on the ground? Just...
if you duck your head in to look, it appears to be like clothing and like personal items, for the most part, like spilling out of the sacks. Without like going in and going through it all, you wouldn't be able to tell much more than that.
I'll relay that to everyone else. That there's like, this is like their wardrobe or something, because there's just like sacks of clothes like everywhere.
Is it uniform or something?
I'm not sure because it's a bit dark, but I can go and have a look.
Perhaps it's the locker room where they deposit their civvies and change into their fancy cult robes.
Yeah, that could be it.
What if you say it is strewn over the floor? Perhaps they are required to give up their material possessions.
Mm-hmm.
Should I have a look at?
Could be any of them.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, you step inside. If you want to have like a thorough look through to try and find anything of interest, you can roll an investigation check, but I'll give you like this baseline information just by going in and having a look. These sacks are just like stuffed full of clothing. You can tell some of these, if you open them, have been in here for some time. The clothes appear to be mismatched, different personal items, just like, shirts, blouses, trousers, skirts. Some are in pretty good nick. Some have quite obviously been torn. Some are absolutely filthy. And on more than a few, there are obvious signs of injury. There is like dried blood. Some have been torn and cut as if by a dagger. Quite a few look like they've literally been torn off. Whoever's been wearing them, they're like almost in tatters. But yeah, they're all in various states of like repair or damage.
Yeah, I don't think that these were all given willingly. There's a lot of damage and there is a copious amount of blood on some of these clothes. So maybe not. Maybe these people aren't willingly involved in this cult, or maybe they're like food or something. I don't know. I'm a bit worried.
Cold sacrifices, maybe.
Yeah.
It's at this point that all of you hear a scream of somebody in immense pain echoing down that hallway that Joachim, you revealed through the door.
Okay. Immediate response will be to dash down the hallway then.
Down we go.
Does everyone follow down the hallway? You can tell it didn't come from that door on the left. It quite clearly came from that door at the far end down the set of stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he'll charge right into the door.
Sarul would have been close behind, just going to drop him in the middle there. I'm assuming Giuliana, you're following as well.
Coming too.
Cool. Sarul, you opening the door?
I will listen, put my ear to the door quickly to see if I can hear anything else going on in there before opening it.
I mean, yeah, no rule necessary. As soon as you put your ear to the door, you hear what is quite obviously the sound. Well, I would say quite obviously, it sounds sort of like a whip or a lash hitting flesh, and then another like blood-curdling scream. But something sounded a little bit off about the whatever whip or lash he was using. It sounded a bit off.
Oh no.
Sounds like a torture room, maybe. Yes, let's again proceed with caution, and he will stealthily crack the door again.
Okay, give me another stealth check.
Come on, that's a 13. I'm getting one lower each time.
Well, I'll give you this much. How patient would you be? Because obviously you could wait to try and time it with one of the screens.
Oh,
or
God.
is it a case of you want to get in there now? You're just trying to be careful about it.
Oh no, he's more wanting to have a look in before stepping in, sort of situation here.
So would he be willing to wait to try and use the?
Oh yeah, he'd do
screens
it. He'd do it patiently, unless it sounds like someone's literally being murdered right there and then.
Oh, they are screaming like they're dying.
With the whip cracking, that sounds to him like torture rather than execution.
Yeah.
So he'd be patient.
Okay.
People can see my torture, it's fine.
In which case, everyone else in the group was like, what are you waiting for? And you're like, shh, hold on.
Okay, I have healing.
I'll allow that to be an advantage, so you can roll again and take the higher one.
All right, yeah, let's see me now rolled an 11. Oh, no, that's an 18.
Perfect. You press your ear up, you wait for the sound of the lash again, and as soon as it hits, you have your hand ready, and as soon as the scream starts, you just crack the door, using that to mask the sound of the door opening. I'm not going to open the door yet, because obviously if you're just cracking it, you're not going to get a full view of the room, so I'll describe what you can see before you decide to open the door fully. With the door cracked, the sound of the scream now no longer dampened by the door washes over all of you, echoes down the hall you're standing in. And the first thing, Joachim, that you're met with is the smell of blood and viscera and excrement. You can see, just with the door cracked, you were absolutely correct, a variety of torture implements. There's a table just into the right of the door, covered in bloody knives, tongs, clamps. Further in, you can see what is quite obviously a set of stocks that have been nailed to the floor of this room. There's nobody in them currently, but you can see where blood has collected and dried around where the neck and the arms would be held. You can see more crates and sacks which have bloody rags and clothes just tossed into them. And you can just make out on the far corner, the door opens, I should say, from the right-hand side, so you're looking into the right of the room. You can see in the far right of the room is another door. And if you just peek it just a little bit further, you can just about make out the edge of a cell on the far wall, but you cannot see what's in it from here.
Okay. Can I see any people?
Not from the angle you're looking at.
Alright, I'll open the door fully enough that I'm able to get a view. I'd assume if there was more than the torturer and the torturee in there, that there'd be a fair noise going on and chatter and whatnot.
Cool. You push the door open and you sort of peeking your head into the room. You can quite clearly see a rack sort of mounted at an angle against the wall to your left. A man is sort of strewn up, hanging from it. He is completely naked, and his body is... the simplest way to describe it is a mess. Skin and muscle and flesh has been torn from his body in great lengths, and tatters of flesh hang limp against his body. You see blood and spittle foaming at his mouth, his eyes rolled back into his head. He hangs limply, twitching every so often. And you see in front of him an 8-foot-tall, red-skinned creature draped in chains. And as you duck in, you see hanging from the walls, stretched across the room, are numerous metallic chains with great vicious hooks on the end. And you watch as this creature shifts one of the lengths of chain in its hand, lifts it, and as if attacking with a leather whip, strikes at the man hanging in front of him. He screams in agony again as this metal lash with a great hook on the end tears another furrow through the flesh of this man's body. Blood erupts, spraying across the room and across the body of this torturer. And once again, you behold a creature that is not human, but is definitely not something you recognize.
All right.
Eleanor is holding her mouth and nose and thinking to herself, concentrate on the smell of excrement, not the smell of blood. You're not hungry. You're not hungry at all.
The person in the rack, are they facing us or are they facing away from us?
They currently have their back to you. They are facing this person on the rack. And you can actually see, even as you've ducked your head into the room, instead of reacting to your presence, they are just once again readying the chain for another strike.
Okay.
Give me a perception check as well, because obviously you can see the tokens, but give me a perception check so I can describe for you what's in the cells.
Oh, that's a 7. He's very much focused on the torturer thingy.
Yeah, you've clocked that there are cells against the wall and that there are shapes within in the shadowed recesses, but your attention is fully grabbed by this huge muscular creature with the chains sort of dangling against its body.
So as soon as he gets the full kind of view of the room, he'll now charge in and grapple or try to grapple the torturer creature.
Beautiful. We're going to go do initiative then.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a 20 on initiative.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I have a 9.
Giliana?
21.
Damn.
You sound so disappointed.
I'm like right at the back. Yeah, all my mute. Like, I don't mind being first if I'm like in a good position. I'm like, oh.
In there, yeah.
You can always hold actions, though.
Eleanor?
Yeah, that's true.
13 for me.
And Cerule, being the consummate professional, rolled an 8. Cool. So, as you guys all currently have the surprise here, Giliana, you watch as Joachim sort of, you can barely see what's going on in the room, but you can see what your token can see. So you literally see Joachim like peek his head in, freeze. I imagine, Joachim, when you see this this torture happening, your initial response is going to be to like tense up for a second, and then there's that immediate fight response, and you rush into the room. So Giliana, you get to go first as you watch Joachim rush the room.
Okay. Can I move past anyone? Is it big enough for that?
Yes, you can move through an ally space. That is absolutely
Okay.
allowed.
How much movement? How big is that?
It counts as difficult terrain, right?
If it does, I don't. If that's rules is written, that's one of my house rules.
Okay.
Simply because it is a 5-foot square. You occupy less than a foot wide of that. If your ally just moves to the side, you can just move past them.
Okay, so
Does everybody move to the side? Everyone's like, no!
So the rule's like, no, stay out of this.
I duck under his arm. I crawl through his legs.
Punch him in the dick.
Like that on the way up.
Crowd surf over the top.
Oh god, speaking of, I absolutely have to look up what Cyril's abilities do, because I cannot remember.
Oh, God, that fills me with a lot of confidence for this fight.
Yeah, so you rush down the line, like dodging past your allies in this narrow hall.
Yeah. And then, so I can see this big red thing.
So this guy here, directly in front of Joachim, with this like blood red skin. You're actually now wondering, Joachim, as you're closer to him, you're beginning to wonder if that's his natural skin color or if it's just dyed red with blood.
Oh God! And he is the one that's hooking the guy.
Yeah, he is like covered in chains, like literally. He isn't so much wearing clothes as he is wrapped in various lengths of chains. They cover parts of his chest. His crotch is thankfully covered in them. Part of his head is wrapped in these, almost like some sort of scarf made of metal. And all about him dangle the ends of these chains with these massive vicious hooks on the end.
Okay.
So 20 feet gets you to the edge of, like, gets you in the door. You still have obviously some movement left if you want to use it. And technically, because you're in a surprise round, if you wish to make not a surprise round is not a thing anymore. This guy has the surprise condition, so if you wanted to make an attack, you would be doing so at advantage, and you would have sneak attack.
I better do that because I feel like this is going to be not great. Okay, so I'll use my short bow. I'll stay where I am. Yeah, I'll stay where I am. I'll use my short bow, and then try and shoot him somewhere where there's not chain.
When I describe it being like wearing chain clothes, it's not a lot. It's essentially chain shorts with like a couple going across his chest.
Shorts.
Yeah, shorts.
I'll aim for his pecs.
There you go. Yeah, aim for his nipples. They're not covered.
Okay. Right.
Cool. So, attack with a bow. Just remind me as well, is your bow is not magic in any form, is it?
No.
Cool. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
19.
19 hits. You can roll damage.
18.
18 damage. Amazing. You rush in the room, you see Joachim, he's rushing this, he hasn't like drawn a sword yet, you can see he's rushing in to try and grapple the creature. You dodge past your allies, immediately draw draw your arrow, knock, fire, and as the creature like turns around to see you entering the room, you do actually catch it directly in the chest, but you watch where normally on like a creature like this, where it's quite clearly not wearing armor in the place you've hit, where you would expect the arrow to sink like at this distance, almost like halfway to the base of the shaft, you can see that the tip of the arrow barely pierces this thing's flesh. It does strike it, it does pierce it, and you can see this black ichorous blood, but a lot less than you would expect to normally.
Oh shit. Okay. And then can I disengage? Is that right? Do I want
You
that?
don't need to disengage.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have to do
You
that.
don't need to disengage because you're not within. Yeah, you're not within
Can
range.
I hide?
What's your total movement?
I don't know. That's a good question. 30.
30. So you use 20 to get into the room, so you 5 to... Within 10 feet, there's nothing really to hide behind.
Just hide behind me.
Can I hide under the table?
I'm wearing a cape. Hide under my cape.
I tell you what, yeah, if you want to duck under the table, I'll put you under the table, you can duck under the table, but you're going to be making like a pretty high check here, a pretty high stealth check to try to avoid this thing's line of sight just by dodging under the table.
Got it, don't
I
I?
know you're very good at it, so that's why I'm even giving you the chance, because you're going to have to beat an 18.
Okay. I got a natural 20.
God! Damn it. Yeah,
One with the
Giuliana,
shadows.
you duck under the table, and this creature is like still sort of like trying to take in what's happened. So as it continues to scan the room, it like scans back, and you wait until its like vision is off you to like, duck under the table. And Joachim, you can see this creature, this like fiendish being, which is like a full foot taller than you, do a proper like cartoonish double take to when it get back to where Giuliana was standing a second ago. It was like, whoa, as she's just disappeared. So, yeah, Giuliana, you're under the table, you're hidden, god damn it. I'm assuming that's everything for your turn?
Yes.
Cool. Would be the creature's turn. It is surprised, so we're going to go straight to Joachim.
Oh wow, you rolled well on your initiative too. Yeah, so Joachim, when he's opened this door and he's got the full view of everything, he's done that thing where he's like looked at the normal sort of height you'd be expecting to see a kind of 6-footish kind of person, and his eye line has slowly drifted up.
Yeah.
And then he's charged in and he's gone in for the grapple. So
Cool.
going for a grapple check.
Contested strength.
Oh
weird.
shit! I rolled a 5.
Oh.
Well, weirdly, it does not have like a massive. Well, to be fair, unless I roll a
never know.
I'm not going to still beating you. Yeah, I rolled a 3 plus 4 for 7.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh god.
So yeah, that doesn't work.
So yeah, you go to like spear tackle this thing, but like as you say, you're like expecting something much smaller, so you end up like just sort of putting your arms around its thighs, and it just sort of like reaches down and like grabs you by the back of your armor and like throws you back a step just to like get you like off of it.
Yeah, I'm probably getting like tangled in the chains and stuff, and I just can't get a grip on it. It's just too.
Blood.
Actually, that's what it is. You actually realize when you go to grab it, you put your arms around this thing's legs where there are chains dangling down. You couldn't see it from a distance, but as you put your arms around it, you realize that all of the chains have like barbs running down their length. So even with your armor, it doesn't cause you any damage, but you have that like split second of where it like digs into like the gaps in your armor, and just that is enough for it to like push you back off of it.
Okay. Get in it, gang. I'll keep him occupied.
Eleanor, that's your turn.
All right. I would like to just move into the room so I've got a better vantage point, and perhaps step to the side of Giuliana here. And I would like to cast Dissonant Whispers on the chain man at I'm gonna say third level. So that is a Wisdom 15 saving throw.
Oh god damn. Yeah, 13, that feels.
Ooh, excellent. The creature hears in its head, it's the only one who can hear this, is your blacksmith really needs to get on a fashion course. This is very, very over the top. And I will roll for damage.
Cool. Mercy, you're the only one to understand this as you hear the creature shout, "This is top of the line fashion!" as it grabs at its head in pain. Mercy,
just
for some
side-eyes
reason,
Eleanor like, what are you doing?
yeah, also Mercy, as much of a joke as that was, but Mercy, you also realise that you can understand what it's saying. You also know it didn't speak Abyssal.
Ah! Time to have an existential crisis, it's fine.
I got 23 damage. I rolled 23 damage.
God damn!
Woo!
Yeah, your dissonant whispers casts out. You see the psychic energy rending at this thing's mind as it stumbles back and raises one hand to its head. And you see you've done it a significant portion of damage. Anything else on your turn?
I don't believe so. I'm just going to think to myself, I've struck a nerve there, a little bit of insecurity about fashion. I can use this.
You see as it pulls its hands away from its head, it readjusts a lot of the chains on its body into a more fashionable position. Mercy, that is your turn.
I think Mercy's gonna come in to the doorway so she's fully in the room. And stare down at the chain man, shout to the rest of them, like, I don't think it's a demon. None of these things have been demons. It's something else. But I'm not sure. And then it's going to look at him and go, what are you? And I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts on it.
Ooh, so are you delving deep or are you just going to try and read surface level?
Well, reading the description, I'm unsure because you use that action to cast the spell, but it then also says, as an action, you can shift your attention, attempt to probe deeper. So I'm not sure if I can on this turn, or whether I have to save it for the next turn.
I would allow it simply because you're going to get the surface thoughts regardless.
Yeah.
So I would allow, as part of casting the spell, to choose that your first casting is going to be like a deeper delve.
Cool.
So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that's the correct rolling. It's the way I'm going to roll it. So do you want to go for a deeper delve, or do you just want to go with the surface level thoughts for now? Cool. So I'm making a wisdom
go
save.
as deep as I can.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
One is cocked. I think I'm getting it regardless. Yeah. That is going to be a unnatural 20, unfortunately.
But that does not save, but at least I get surface thoughts.
Yes. So you, what does it look like as you cast Detect Thoughts?
I think that as sort of Mercy's standing there, and she actually doesn't really do much in the ways of like magical gestures. She just looks a bit confused and like holds one hand to her chin, like, and then her like eyes glow a kind of smoky blue. She narrows them, and the same smoky blue kind of comes across the chain man's eyes, and then.
So tell me about your mother. So as this smoky, like quartz blue, almost smoke drifts into the eyes of this creature in front of you, you push your senses out towards it and you try to break through its defenses. But the second your mind sort of tries to pierce deeper, you are met with a torrent of these like barbed chains. Like these are so much a part of it. You actually realize that, I'll tell you this much for free as part of the Detect Thoughts, these chains aren't something it like just controls. These are like part of it. Like these chains are part of its body, and that carries into its psyche, where its mental defenses are protected by these like psychic chains that tear across its mind to protect it. So you cannot push any deeper, but as you... Now, this is the thing. What would it consider the answer to the question, what are you?
If it doesn't know itself, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Well, no, this is the thing. It's just such a broad question, because like, obviously if you ask me, what are you, my response isn't going to be human. My response is going to be like my self-identity, but obviously your intention is what are you, which is a broader and makes more sense in a D&D setting.
sort of juxtaposed it with like talking about demons. So if it knows anything about demons, then something that it might think of from that kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely your definite intention is more like, what are you in terms of being like a creature? So I'm actually, I think I know what answer I'm going to give you, but I'm going to be a dick and be very pedantic about it. So you get a flash, like little flashes of emotion and vision. Most of these emotions are fury and hatred and pain, but all of those are tinged with a level of like pleasure. All of those are like a background to things that it finds like pleasurable. It elicits what we would consider like dopamine rushes. It considers these like psychically tearing at something and causing it pain brings it a level of pleasure. But you get, when you ask, what are you? It again is a word that you have no definition for, that you've never heard before, but you get the word Kyton, Kyton, sort of flashes into your brain. And beyond that, you get a sensation of brimstone, fire, pain, and I was like, you're sort of compounding on the fiendishness, like you've definitely already worked that much out. That sort of redoubles. Here's like, yeah, these are definitely some sort of fiendish creature. You are 100% sure it is not a demon, but I don't think asking it, what are you, would be enough to give you like, it's not going to be like, I'm a human. It's not going to give you like the broad definition. It's going to tell you what it is, and what it is a chiton.
Okay, well, that's more information than we had 5 minutes ago. I will just end my turn by looking a bit confused and then shouting at Joachim, like, try and remove the chains, pull the chains off. It's part of it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Unraveling.
I feel like it could hurt it quite a lot.
Probably.
If you did that.
Just pull one of the chains, just spins like a Beyblade. In which case, cool. It is Cerul's turn. Cerul is going to rush into the room, take all of this in and go, what the and just draws his sword and begins to rush the creature. Joachim, you are... Oh, actually, how much movement does he have? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25... Oh, he has enough. He's going to get behind it. So he doesn't need to be behind it for flanking for advantage, because he's already got an ally within... Well, I'd say advantage is going to give him advantage in the roll. He's going to rush forward. Which is, thankfully, thank God for advantage, going to be a 21 to hit, which is going to hit.
Ooh.
Cool. He is going to expend a superiority die to use Distracting Strike. So he gets to add this to the damage, and the next attack from an ally will also be at advantage against the creature. So I've just realized, that'll be Giliana, which you're hidden in. He doesn't know where you are. He's just rushing through. He can't see you either, so he's going to do this anyway. His superior die D8, so he gets to roll 1d6, 1d8 plus his sneak attack, which is only a d6, so it's a ton of damage. 7, 13, 14, 18 damage. So Joachim rushes in, blade out, stabs at this creature. But Joachim, you watch as he's obviously going for like a killing blow. He's going like lower back, pointing up slightly, trying to get through what would on a humanoid be a kidney. But again, his blade, almost like the creature's muscles have like clamped down on it, his blade only sinks maybe a few inches into its flesh. So he draws back, goes for a second offhand attack, which is going to miss, unfortunately, even with advantage. But it's better than nothing. So then we're back to the top with Giliana.
Okay. So...
Oh, sorry. I've just realised. I forgot. Cerul has a +1 sword. He does full damage.
Haha.
Oh.
So you actually watch as the blade sinks to the hilt, and the devil, not the devil, the creature. The creature.
What was that?
The creature's eyes widen in shock and pain as Joachim, you see the tip of Cerul's blade pierce through the front of this creature, and more of this ichorous blood explodes out and begins to pour down the front of its body. It does not look happy.
Oh,
but yeah, then we're back to Giliana.
Okay. Would I have seen that happen? Peeking out from under my table?
Yeah, absolutely.
God, how how far away am I from this thing? Okay, I'll come out from under the table, and I'll run up to this thing.
Yeah, Eleanor, who also was not in the room when Kiliana hit on the table, you're just like as shocked as he just like stands up next to you.
I'll do a forward roll out from under the table, jump up.
Parkour!
Okay, I'll turn and go, hi! And I'll run up to this thing. And then I'll use my blade this time. My whatever my blade is, I don't know what it is. My short sword. Nope. Yeah, my short sword. I'll go and I'll just stab him. Them.
Cool. Give me an attack roll.
17.
17 is enough to hit.
So, do I have sneak attack?
Yes, absolutely. You've got 2 allies within 5 feet of it, plus Cyril used his distracting strike, so you have 2 different things giving you, well, technically 3 different things giving you advantage, or sneak attack.
19,
Oh, also,
21,
did you roll
22,
your attack at
23.
advantage because of the distracting strike?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
25 damage.
Damn. That's unfortunate that he only takes half of that.
Why? It's a magic short. It's my short sword. It's magic.
Oh, your short sword's +1, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes, okay, that takes the full goddamn damage then. I swear to God, if you guys... Well, I think...
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah, that's your full turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got Cyril's sword poking out through one side, and then you run up, stab it through the front, and your swords sort of cross over each other. It's almost like a little meat cute. As you sort of the two of you look around the creature, being like, "Oh, you," with your swords piercing through, and it's like, "What the fuck?"
There's an awkward moment where their hands touch.
What if our swords touched in the middle of the devil?
I'm just working out how that would. Yeah, they both put their hand on the creature to pull the sword out, and both of your fingers just like around the creature's head, just like touch for a second, like oh. The creature's like, stop it! Stop having a moment. Is that the end of your turn, or do you wish to disengage and move?
Yeah, I'm gonna disengage and move because I don't want to die.
Cool. Where do you want to move to?
I'll like snatch my hand away from Cyril. I'm like, oh god. What am I thinking? And I'll move closer to this.
God, this is a tight space.
I'll move.
It's almost like I put this fight in here intentionally.
Like a little bit like closer to this door.
Cool.
Easy access.
Amazing. In which case, it's finally the creature's turn. It's not going to get immediately fucking nuked and die, but holy crap, it's close. For the record, this creature is beyond bloodied at this point.
So before you do its turn, can I just do a quick retcon, because I forgot to say at the end of my last turn, I had a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith?
Absolutely, that's absolutely fine.
Cool.
Because, strangely enough, you aren't the one who stabbed it. It is pissed. First of all, what all of you see is, now that it's its turn, it's sort of like taken in the room now, and it sees all of you in here, and it's had a second to collect itself. You guys see all of the chains that up until this point have been hanging on its body rise up like living creatures, like almost like snakes, sort of wrapping and writhing around its body, flying through the air around it. Not only that, you guys watch as it reaches both hands out and like grabs at something in midair, and the chains that I described that were hanging from the ceiling and festooned across the room all erupt in these barbed spines along their length, rip out of the walls, and come to life. Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us. As usual, I would just like to thank Lixie B for our wonderful logo, and Jeff for all of the fantastic art for our characters in Season 2. Don't forget, you can check out more of Jeff's work on our online store, where you can find his artwork used on our stickers and t-shirts. Also, a massive shout out to the Stormweather Shanty Choir for allowing us to use their song Drunken Sailor as our intro and outro music. Also, a massive thank you to our wonderful sponsors, DM Dice and Arcanist Rum. Find links to both of their websites in our description. And finally, a massive shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who continue to support us in everything we do. Your support means the world to us, and we hope that we can go on making fantastic content thanks to you. So we are once again recommending the podcast for all of our wonderful guests. So that is the Realms of Peril and Glory, the Deck of Many Aces, and Cybertopia. I'm also going to shout out a couple of other shows that we as members of this cast have been so lucky to be involved with. So I want to shout out The Transmissions and their Black Teeth series that's currently ongoing and I believe coming to the season finale, where myself and Pete have both voiced NPCs on that. I actually had a lot of fun. We got to record a little session, just a little short session with a couple of the NPCs that we were voicing interacting with one another. Pete wasn't involved in that one due to the nature of the recording, but I got to record that with a couple of the other people voicing NPCs, which was a lot of fun. And as well as that, I was also asked to do a very short recording for the guys over at Tales on Tap. Dan, who runs their long-form campaign, asked me to come and do a quick NPC recording to play out a surprise recording during their live stream. I got to watch the clip of all of the cast reacting to it. It was very funny. So yeah, if you haven't checked them out yet, go and check out Tales on Tap as well. Also, if you're in our Discord, you may have noticed that one of our Patreon tiers is Triskavale Furline's Trinkets and Curiosities. These are magic items, up until now, have been pulled from my published supplement on the DM's Guild, which is just full of magic items that don't quite do what they say on the tin. But we've now actually got to the end of that book. I have used all of the items in that. They're all currently listed on our Patreon on the +2 modder tier. And I'm now having to make up some new ones, essentially. Because we're keeping that tier going. It's still the same reward, but I'm just making the items up as we go now. So to celebrate the fact that we have completed the book and have moved into a bunch of new items, the first one I have made publicly available. So you do not have to be subscribed, you do not have to be a member of that specific tier. You can just go to our Patreon and you can check out the Spider Queen's Grasp. That's everything for this episode, so thanks very much for sticking with us, guys, and we'll see you soon.